Okay, today we're going to make pork piccata. We're just going to show you the basic ingredients for a pork piccata here. I have some lemons and limes. Typically it's lemon, but I don't always do it what typically it says. I have some shiitake mushrooms, which are right here. And there's a lot of stem to a shiitake mushroom, and they are kind of tough. So I like to cut them off pretty close to the mushroom and just keep the mushroom part like that. I have 3 of those. We'll be making this for 2 people. I have just some baby button mushrooms right here, and sometimes you'll see that they have some black spots on them. It kind of looks like dirt. I don't really wash mushrooms. I don't like putting them under running water. It really changes them. So I just take a towel, a paper towel, and I just brush them off till that part comes off. Just look around at the mushrooms. I try to buy them as clean as possible, so I could just brush them off like that. I typically don't do it over the cutting board, but that's where I'm filming. So I just hold the mushroom up and there's a black spot right there and just brush it till it comes off. If you got some stuff that's embedded, especially like this piece right here in the stem, you can always just get a knife and cut that little piece off like that. Just like to keep them pretty clean so you know what you're eating. Okay, so and I also have some garlic right here. I have some white wine. I have a little bit of parsley. I have some salt and pepper. I have some capers, and I have some butter, and the garlic's right here. So I have a couple cloves of garlic, and like 2.5 or whatever. They're kind of small. This garlic here is like the end of one of the heads of garlic that I have. So to prep the garlic with the skin on right there, I just pull the cloves off. If you put a knife on the top and just smash it down like that, it gets the skin loose. Breaks it up, and you can just peel it right off, and that piece of skin just came right off. If you just try to peel garlic with your fingers, trying to peel off like that, it'll get all sticky, and it can be a little difficult to peel. So we got the garlic's prepped. The mushrooms we're just going to slice up. With the shiitakes, I just like to cut them real thin like this, and they come out quite nice. That works really well in a dish like that. I mean, you don't need a lot. I only need 3 mushrooms for this dish for 2 people, but I'm also going to have these little baby button mushrooms. So I just slice those up too. I know it's a little loud for the video, so I could be quiet too like that. But that's the way I do it. So could fly through that, but I'm not going to bore you and just keep cutting and show the video. So I'm going to get all this food prepped up. Okay, so I have a pan on the stove, a saute pan getting hot, and I did miss a couple ingredients. One is some chicken broth, which I also have for this dish. And here I have some flour, and I have the flour just seasoned with salt and pepper. And I like to flour the pork tenderloins, and I put them on another plate. And just flour them up and get them ready. And just wanted to show you that, because this is how I like to saute them. This helps the sauce get thick when you make the sauce for the piccata, and it also helps it to not stick to the pan. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I'll show you how we cook it. Okay, so I have a pan on medium-high heat, and I'm going to put a little olive oil in there. Maybe a tablespoon or a little bit more. Spread it across the bottom of the pan. You can tell if it's hot. If the oil thins out really fast, you can tell that your pan is hot. Okay, so we're going to get our pork right in there. You can tell the oil is hot. So I'm going to get the pork right into the pan. It's got a nice little sizzle going as soon as it hits, which is good. So you like to sear your meat when you're cooking it. It helps to keep the juices in. Keeps it moist. I hope it's not using a directional microphone, so I hope it's not going to sizzle too loud and drown me out. Okay, it's quite a bit of pork, but it's enough for 2 people plus. There might be some leftovers in this, and just going to brown this up. You can see it cooking around the edges. You can almost see the juice coming up to the top of the pork. So I will flip over the pieces that look like the juice is coming up to the top. Like that. They don't take long because it is cut pretty thin. So, and it's not really sticking at all. Seems to be cooking up pretty good. I flip each piece. Normally I wouldn't have this much in the pan, but I'm hungry today. I'm going to let the pork brown on this side for just a minute or so. And I got my chopped garlic ready to go. And got my mushrooms all sliced up. Like I said, you know, a basic pork piccata is going to be this pork. It's going to have some white wine, some lemon juice, some garlic, some capers, and some butter. So, I obviously have some lime, which I like as part of, which I like lime juice in my sauce as well. But it's not necessary. I mean, the most basic way, it is just a handful of ingredients. So I'm going to clear a little area in the middle of the pan. I'm going to drop my garlic right into that spot. Just like that. So there's the chopped garlic that we just did. No big deal. I can smell it already, but it, you know, you get that flavor into it. Takes that garlic from the raw state into a partially cooked state. We're going to add our mushrooms. We're going to add our mushrooms next. It looks like a lot of mushrooms, but it's really not. They're going to cook down. They get into the dish. I like to put them right in there. Now at this point, I'm going to loosen everything up. Start to mix it around a little bit. Yeah, you can make some noise. I mean, if you want, normally you just use like button mushrooms. I like the shiitakes and the texture of shiitakes in there. And I'm still letting it cook, and that garlic's still cooking on the bottom. The mushrooms are getting a little heat. It smells really good. Okay. So I'm gonna add like a half a cup of white wine. That should quiet it up in here a little bit once that gets going. I have some chicken broth. Maybe a half a cup of chicken broth as well. Alright, so that's the juice of one whole lemon and the juice of one whole lime. Okay. Mix this up a little bit. Let it get going. Yeah, I like to flip things around. Cameras probably won't last very long around here either. I got them right over the stove, getting grease and stuff cooked onto them. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to add some capers to the dish. And I'll probably have to edit this a little bit since I have long pauses. But I love the capers. I like the big capers. They have some little tiny capers I don't like as much. These have a lot of flavor. They're very briny. And it's just it's a bud. It's a pickled bud. It comes from the caper bush. I don't like to put the juice in there, just the capers in there. I think maybe just a couple more. They're going to make it salty too, so that's why you haven't seen me put any salt in this dish just yet. I mean, the chicken broth I have is a store-bought chicken broth, so that's going to have a little sodium in there and salt too. The capers bring some saltiness to the dish as well. So I'm going to crack some black pepper in there. I also have some white rice to go with this dish, but I'm not going to show the white rice for every time I have rice in a video. But I will show it on the plate when I go to put this together. Normally I would put fresh parsley into this dish. Today, lots of times when you cook, you're gonna cook what you have. You're not gonna run to the store just to get some fresh parsley, and I don't have any in my garden at this present moment. But I do have some dried parsley. I use it periodically, just for a little color. It puts a little seasoning in there. It's not necessary. I certainly would use fresh parsley if I had it. The sauce is getting a little thick as it goes, which is good. You want it to get a little thick at the end. When this is done, we take it off the heat, and I put like a tablespoon of butter in there, and it'll help get that sauce to the right consistency. It finishes it up, it creams it just a little bit, and it brings it all together. We're almost there. But right now it's just going to go like another minute, and I'm going to turn the camera off, and then I'm going to show you how we put it together. Okay, so the sauce is right about where I like it. You can just see it's just getting a little thick. Obviously I didn't want to keep the camera on, just run it to this point. Now I'm just turning the heat off, and I'm going to put that tablespoon of butter right in there. If you like a little less butter, a little more butter, it's fine, whatever you like. I like about a tablespoon in this, and you mix it right through, and you can see it gets a little creamier, brings that sauce all together, everything around. I did put another little pinch of salt in there, or a pinch of salt in there when I turned the camera off. I always check your seasoning. So I gave it a little taste and I tested it, and that's it. Look at that. Looks very nice. So there you have it. It's pork piccata with shiitake mushrooms and button mushrooms, and it's got some capers, white wine, and some garlic. And I'm going to plate it and show you what it looks like. Okay, so on the plate I have some white rice that I cooked, and now I have some of the pork piccata. Just to lay it around there. Pork's beautiful. Sauce looks great. I remember not to eat it all myself. So you see the mushrooms in there, and the pork and the sauce. And there you have it. Pork piccata with shiitake mushrooms and button mushrooms and capers. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, I will have other videos coming up on YouTube, and I also have some recipes on my website at www.cookies.com. Thanks for watching.